Hello, Tina. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Kathy. I haven't seen anybody sharing my GoFundMe. You can please do that. Can you hear me? On the GoFundMe app. There's also a video in each one of my accounts. TikTok doesn't allow external links. Danielle, you've worked to build home equity and credit and stuff like that. Oh, yeah? What home? What home am I living in? Oh, yeah? Why am I not at home enjoying my coffee in the privacy of my own home? Oh, yeah? Really? Please go share my GoFundMe. Hello, Boxer Mom. Hello, Benny. Hello, Anna. Angie. Hello, Paula. Hello, Taylor. Hello, Jean. Hello, Goat Mama. Please go like and share my GoFundMe. Thanks. Hello, Deb. Hello, Alabama Wild Child. Hello, Patsy. Hello, Deb. Hello, Lori. Hello, Froey. Hello, Dave. Hello, RJ. Hello, Lotus. Hello, Katie. Hello, Potted Meat. Hello, Ellen. Hello, Hope. Hello, Joanna. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Annie. Hello, Sue. Hello, Steph. Hello, Jamie. Hello, Smitty. Hello, Kelly. Hello, honey. Because they like to be alone in their tank, or they'll kill the other person, the other fish. Are they Chinese fighting fish? Yeah, when Bagel died, our fishy, I took all of his tank rocks and threw them out by the ferry door. Add a little pizzazz. I was really irritated because Walmart had like the bottled water for the fish that I would just buy and refill his tank. And then they stopped carrying it. It was only like $2 a bottle. instead of having to do the water testing and all that. I think that's why Beagle lived so long. Just cleaned out his tank with hot water and just refilled it with the bottled water. It was like twice the price at the pet store. He was blue though. And then I got this stupid tank that was supposed to like be self-cleaning, where you just put the water in and it like cleaned all the poop and stuff out. I don't know. It didn't work. He didn't have a filter or anything. I wanted to keep live plants in there, but also it didn't have any of that stuff. The Chinese restaurant, the Carrie Lee's that we went to, they had people would dump their goldfish, and they had in the pond, so they would take them. That was always the most fun part, going to see the fish. In the pond. I know. That's why after Bagel passed away, and then Scooter's like, oh, I want to go get a 100-gallon fish tank and do all this. And I'm like, no, go fuck yourself, because you didn't ever clean Bagel's tank. Bagel's little... You didn't buy that fish. You didn't take on that responsibility. You weren't buying the food. You weren't buying the water. You weren't doing any of that until the fish started getting sick and like he was going to pass away, because he was on the mantle in the living room and it got really cold in there. So like the drastic temperature changes. And I didn't want to keep him in Stella's room because she was only like 2 or 3. She would have knocked him over. Or the cat. Oh, I had to keep him up there because the cat never went up there. I didn't want the cat eating him. That's why he was there. Carter never jumped up on the mantle or like climbed all around that stuff. Yeah. Well, we had a chimney in our house in the middle of our living room, so all of the heat is just escaped right out up the chimney. That's why I had my dad build me like the frame board, and I shoved like an old comforter and crap in there eventually, because we only used it once a year. And that's what my dad was doing with Bill. They were cleaning chimneys because a lot of people in my neighborhood, it was old historic houses and stuff, so they had a lot of work going and cleaning chimneys and pinpointing and tucking and like repairing the bricks and the flue and all of that. My dad knew how to do everything. Burt Reynolds. Just push him around while he was dead. That's what I was doing. Taking my dad the car ride. Oh yeah, I don't know anything. Again, I'm not interested. That was simply for Stella. When they had me doing my supervised visits for Wednesday, and I just, what are we going to do for an hour? Oh, let's go to the pet store. What are you going to do on a rainy day? Go look at the fishies and the animals in the store. Do the same thing with Stella. Let's go outside. Let's go somewhere else. Because I didn't even buy any of that stuff there. I had a Chewy subscription. Cat litter's heavy when I didn't have a car. Thankfully, there was a Kmart right in front of my apartment complex for a while, so I could just go carry my 30-pound things of litter back and forth to my apartment. I ended up getting him the pellet, the breeze or whatever with the pads, where you just change the pads in the with the litter. Because one vacuum for cat litter and everything, and then it gets all in the brush, and then it's all over your house. That's why I had just bought a brand new vacuum, because my Dyson that I asked for was wrecked. I used it for everything, plus all the renovations, and then I also bought a shop vac for that stuff. And then Scooter bought the stupid D-Bot robot vacuum that has to be plugged in all the time. And then, like I said, I didn't sleep upstairs. I would fall asleep downstairs all the time. Freaking 3 o'clock in the morning, and then it would get stuck every night in the middle of the freaking dining room or somewhere. I had to go in and turn it off. I just turned it off. As soon as I heard the noise, I got trained as soon as I heard the noise, I got up real quick and turned it off. It didn't do anything. It didn't do anything as far. I like vacuuming. I like cleaning my house. I like the satisfaction of getting in all the corners and doing all that. Yeah, and I just, thankfully my dog, when she did pee on anything, she peed on carpet, obviously, because they're trained to do that. So she usually stayed upstairs anyways. But we didn't have, just the cat and the dog. And we had hardwood floors, so it was just, that stuff just, it all rolled up into a ball. They're little tumbleweeds. By Antonia's fluff. I didn't take her to get groomed, so her winter undercoat and stuff like that. I was out in the garage clipping her nails. I'd take her out in the backyard and brush her and bathe her. Give her a little puppy haircut. I did go to the pet store. I did get shears to cut her hair. The right type of shears. She was a Chinaranian. She was a Japanese Chin and a Pomeranian mix. She looked like a Papillon, though. She looked like a Pomeranian, but she was small. She looked like a Chihuahua. Like, you wouldn't know. She was... I have plenty of pictures. I'm sure Google's curated something. When they curated videos for Carter, and then they'd have Antonia in there because they were both black. I'm like, how does the dog look like the cat? I didn't want a small fluffy dog. I wanted a big dog. We had little dogs our entire life. I wanted a bigger dog. I didn't want a tiny little yappy terrorist. Again, the toy breeds have more genetic things as thousands and thousands of dollars. Antonia had luxating patellas. She had no kneecaps. About to bust a cap in your ass. She had no kneecaps left. And the veterinarian told me that she shouldn't be going up and down stairs and running and doing all this stuff. That's why I didn't really take her on walks. That's why she had our little tiny yard was perfect for her. And she didn't give up. She ran, went up and down the stairs, jumped up all over the place, jumped up on the chair in the back of the couch, and she acted like nothing, but she was protective of her. She didn't want people touching her, petting her, because she was in constant pain. That's why I ended up getting her the CBD treats with it and the glucosamine. Well, I mean, I don't think it did anything. And Whole Foods used to sell really good quality food. They're like 365 brand. It was relatively inexpensive, and it was better quality food. And then they did away with that. And she was eating Rachel Ray with the carrots and the peas and all that, and she'd just leave all the peas and carrots on the floor. She wouldn't even eat them, which was not good because the carrots and stuff would have broken up the tartar in her teeth. His doggy braces. And then I would try to get her the chewy. She didn't chew on any like the rawhide or anything like that. She just kept them all in her bed. She just had we get her little rawhide treats and stuff. And she'd chew on them a little bit, but she'd hide them all in her bed. We got her little tennis. She liked tennis balls. She liked to play with we got her little mini tennis balls. She had those all in her bed, like her little nest. Like she was sitting on her eggs. And every toy we ever got her, she just gutted all the fluff out of it. So I had to once she was trying to get the squeaker out of it. But once she got into it, I just defluffed it. So she just had all of her dead animals, her dead animal carcasses all over the house. She would put them in our first apartment. We had the closet to the bathroom, like our bedroom door, and then I had the litter box in my closet. I know it's gross, but I had like two sides to my closet, so I had a little space where I could put it in there, and I had to keep it up high because she would climb in there and eat the dog or the cat poop. That's why we had to keep it separated with the baby gate, and Carter had to jump to go into his office. Because dogs will do that. They'll go, oh, yeah, no. I didn't know she was doing it for a while because, like, when I'd go clean out his litter box, I'm like, what the hell? Why is there no cat poop in here? Ew. So anyways, she would, I don't know, to keep the cat out or something, or it was like some instinct where I would get she would bring all of her dead animal carcasses, her weasels. So she, like the little long weasel furry ones. And she would pile them all up in the doorway like a barrier. Like, do not, no trespassing. Yes, she was a good dog. And Carter was a good cat. They both knew the bedtime routine that we gotta go. He would always be waiting, ready upstairs in Stella's bed. It's story time. It's time to read stories. Sitting there waiting. He put Stella to bed with me every night. But he didn't sleep in her room. Yeah, that's why I have my earbuds and I'm listening to music. I'm not even listening. I mean, I can hear everything else, but I'm also listening to something else. Have to listen to the same thing over and over again. I don't want to. I don't want to work. I don't want to work, and yeah, I can go get a job anywhere. But I just, for my mental health, listening to this, my dad audio messages. You have to focus. Voice messages. I mean, I felt like I worked at. You feel like you're paying rent, purchasing from them all those coffees. We had a coffee bar at Whole Foods, so I didn't really need to do that. And a team member coffee was only, it was less than $1. And the barista, Beth, she ran the coffee bar. She would make me the best mochas. Like, I didn't want, like, I would only order them when she was working. And then when her mom passed away, she used some of her inheritance and she bought the building on the opposite side, like on the opposite side of my house on Congress. And she wanted to open a coffee shop. And she had to do all of this stuff. She was still working full time there. Plus, she had to do all this stuff for the permits for the building. They had to like dig out the basement and do all of that. But she was going to open up a neighborhood coffee shop, Little Bird Cafe. and she put up a Patreon and everything, and then people were donating, contributing, and then because of all the permits and having to do all that, people have no concept of all the shit you have to go through for your own small business. And money they make you pay just to apply to do stuff inside a building that you own. And it was like a long time. It was a couple of years, and people are like, how come it's not open yet? Blah, complaining and stuff. And I was like, she works full time. She has a full time job. She has to work for that. And then the neighbor, somebody who owned like the house right next to it, because it was in our neighborhood, and it was across from the pool and the rec center and all of that, so they would have gotten good traffic. I was like, I want to put a zip line or like a bridge, a rope bridge. I could see it. I could put it through, but I don't want to walk around the block. I'm just going to do my rope bridge from my backyard to the coffee shop. Exactly. They're doing they're picking up learning your tin can. Yeah, I like cinnamon dolces, but I like mochas more. And that was unfortunate too, because my dad did all that construction work, and he would have, if she wanted to pay him, he would have done it, low cost instead of getting contractors and stuff like that. My dad could have done that. She asked for like neighborhood help and people to just come and donate their time. Iced coffee has more caffeine in it. Yeah, who doesn't like more caffeine? Cold brew coffee has more caffeine in it. Gotta know your stuff. Whole Foods Market educated us on all of that. Everything, I didn't do anything. They weren't gonna. They paid us to be able to communicate with our customers and sell and upsell and know our products. Where we source our products from. They did, and then they did a remodel in the store, and they took away all of instead of just leaving it the way it was, we had a huge wood bar, like a whole ginormous tree, like wood bar, all natural. They took that all out, put in like stupid booth seatings, and ordering expensive tile from Australia and shit to redo the bathrooms, and just stupid shit. And then they remodeled the store, and then they started doing the concierge service, and then they put in an alcohol bar, an actual bar. They got their alcohol license, so you could walk around and drink and drive while you're doing your grocery shopping. They wanted to encourage you to spend more money in the store. And then they took out like the whole section of produce and moved the coffee bar over there, so the produce department didn't have had less space. I was gone by then, though. They were doing that, but I was gone by the time they started doing that. And then now all that's gone, and it's all Amazon delivery and Instacart and shit when Amazon took over. There's everything. Every job that I ever worked or ever liked or enjoyed, it just corporate bullshit. As soon as I started working there, apparently, nope, we gotta be run by the corporations. Not a grassroots company, not team member happiness and wellness, not any of this shit. No more free Friday, no. We had to all start wearing non-slip shoes in every department and all this, just more money, less money, more problems. They took everything away from us. They used to give free food to the people instead of throwing it away to the team members. All the bakery bread and stuff like that they were going to throw away at the end of the night, they actually weren't wasting things. That was before I started working there, though. And they do a lot of donations for like the produce and stuff to nonprofits and food gatherers and the Creature Conservancy. They feed the animals at the Creature Conservancy. That's how we got to go in, and because Scooter knew the guy because Scooter worked in produce, and he knew the guy that came and did the food pickups for the Creature Conservancy. So that's how we got to go in with the wallaby, and we got a free little tour and got to go behind the scenes. Because it's wasteful. Because we're not stupid. Feeding America. No, you're starving us. And you're wasting our money. And all that time. While I was working at Target last year, these kids, you idiots, we would get berries and stuff like that. All of our berries and stuff, they wouldn't FIFO the berries, and half the time all the berries, this stuff would come in, and we're stocking while the store's open because the store was tiny, so we're having to stock all of this stuff immediately. And then we don't have a lot of back stock. And berries, all that stuff would come in moldy, not of good quality. I'm not paying $6 for a container of strawberries, and they're bad. They're moldy. Nobody was going through all the cases before they were stocking it. They weren't FIFOing it. We were going out regularly. Then in the morning, we had to push all of our stuff. Why aren't you pushing that at the end of the night so when I come in, I can do all of that? But we had a compost bin there, and we had all this other stuff, and we had donations. Oh, and then we got a new manager while I was there, and I was doing all of this stuff by myself before we even got a new manager. And she's like, oh no, you have to mark all of that down before you can just donate it or spoil it out. Bitch, I don't have time to do all this. I have to go get a printer. I have to go through, do all this stuff, mark it down. If it's bad, it's bad. I'm not selling it. And then I would come in. I wouldn't work in that department. And then I'd work in that department. I come in. There's like I picked up a bag of lemons, and it was like green mold. Like nobody was touching anything. Nobody was going through all the apples. They didn't go through the apples constantly, finding bad apples. Like those kids didn't care. I couldn't handle it. That's why I left, you guys. You're not paying me enough to do all of this. Of course, I'd love to mark stuff down. Same thing, like our tortillas and stuff that are about to expire. You can mark that stuff down for discount. They weren't going through that stuff, even it was vendor products. But again, we could mark certain things down. We had no quantity of our milk. We always had like negative 100 units of milk, negative all this produce and stuff, so they weren't keeping accurate records of what our sales or any of this stuff as far as ordering. And then none of that stuff, if you wanted to do a pickup order, which would be a lot more convenient in the area in downtown, if you worked at the hospital, if you worked downtown or whatever before you went home, for us to be able to get sales, and we couldn't even put that stuff, it wouldn't be available to order for a pickup because it's not in the system. We have negative amounts of it, so it shows we don't have that product, especially for your fresh produce and stuff, because usually that's the stuff you want to pick up that you don't have at home immediately. Just wasting food. And it's like, we have to prepay for that. The trucks driving all of that here, like we have to prepay for that. And then these kids coming in just stealing $15. I only make $15 an hour, and you're in here stealing $15 fake nails and shit. I have to lock this up. Yeah, then I'm doing all this. I have to lock all this, everything. We had to lock everything up because you would just come in and steal it. And then you hire security to prevent this when you could have police there, a police deterrent. Nope, you don't do that. What are you paying the police for? Because we only had so many people working in there, only so many people, employees could work in there. You've got one person running up front, all the registers are self-scan. So much easier to just steal all that money. I was like, I can't handle this. No wonder everybody's complaining about it. Yeah. Let me go backstock. And we're on and it's all digital. We have our devices doing all this, keeping accurate records. We had to bring all of those pallets and stuff in through the front door, drag them all the way to the back. We had enough space to get a pallet through, all the way back to the cooler. All of our cold products, we all had to be there to stock all that stuff. All of our frozen, everybody had to be there when we got the frozen pallet. We all had to stop whatever we were doing and go stock the frozen coolers. We had everything on time limits because of the perishable items. No. You guys are killing me. I'm not doing this. You're not paying me enough. You don't have enough people here. And nobody wanted to work there because we had to pay $15 a day to park, just to be able to park our cars. Target, billion-dollar corporation. They couldn't buy parking spots for us in the parking structure. Or do nighttime deliveries, like overnight. Yeah, yeah, they gave us a raise. Then we got a 50-cent raise. So we were making $16.25, and then the parking structure upped the parking 40 cents. So we got a 10-cent raise, all within the same time frame.
I forgot already. We just got back from Oregon. We spent the last 3-4 weeks in Oregon.
Yeah, and you have to prepay for that. That's $150 a month, $15 a day. I work 5 days a week.
Right now. This year is Are you here permanently? Yes.
What's 15 times 5? 30, 60, $75 a week just to park my car to work. Times 4 weeks, $150, $300, a car payment, rent, electricity bill, my car insurance, my groceries, my food, just to park my car to be able to work. Like, go fuck yourselves. No, you had to wait. There was a wait list for that because of the hospital and the school and all of that. Anybody who worked at the school, was taking classes at the school, or worked at the hospital had to pay. It was like winning the lottery to get a parking pass for the year. Oh, it's for our protection and our safety. Protecting our personal medical information and bullshit. Like, I didn't already know that. I already knew that before you dropped me off at the homeless shelter in Detroit and did all of that. That's why Erin rented that house. She was paying $500 just for a room in a house while she was going to school because of parking and having to... But you get a free bus pass with your tuition. Again, that's time, wasting time. Our time is money. Oh yeah, free bus pass for what? Because I have to wait an hour for the buses, or not reliable. She walked everywhere. And then with all the football games and stuff, then people were selling their parking, like, you couldn't live anywhere close by because you had to pay for football. I don't give a fuck about football. So you can go play your games? I don't care. Oh, you need to work on your mental health. I'm not paying you. I'm not working. That's slavery. That's slave wages. And that's why Erin and Will would just go to their mom's on the weekend and leave the whole area because it was ridiculous. And then they had all this construction. There's always construction, and you can't drive here or there. Shutting down the streets because it's downtown, it's a city area. There's always some event or something going on where you don't know what streets are going to be blocked off, what days, all of this. No, I don't want it. I'm advocating for you to stop doing that. Especially if I'm a Washtenaw County resident, I'm a homeowner. I'm already paying enough in taxes, city taxes, just to be a homeowner. With what money? With what money do you expect me to buy a house and have a car and be able to feed my family? With what money? Dumbest freaking school ever. Oh, you need to work on your education. No, you're dumb. That's fraud.
Sometimes I act so bad, I don't want to.
And then you have all of this money, the police have all of this money, and you have this homeless shelter down here, and you haven't helped any of these people. They're here for months. You're just taking their information and committing tax fraud with their social security numbers and their information. You're committing tax fraud and getting all this funding for them to be drunks, alcoholics, addicts. You're not helping them with their legal matters. You're not doing shit. Oh, but football! Oh, football! Nope. You're idiots. All of these students paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt to get jobs and get better paying jobs and live their lives and have their families and be able to do this. And you guys can't even start with the people that are already here. You're just using all of these people. You make it bad look. You got people sleeping on the streets and all this other stuff.